What's up, friends and neighbors? Today, your short hair boy is going to be watching this long hair guy's video. Why the black pill is 99% truth. This video was suggested by a viewer called Kat. She is a very supportive viewer of mine. Shout out to her. So when she suggested this video to me, I already knew about this guy because for some reason I already came across him before, but I didn't know a lot about him. I just knew that there was this long hair guy that talks about things like Blackpill or Rami, I guess. And I knew he used to play League of Legends and do calisthenics. It's pretty similar to me because I also used to play a lot of League and work out, do calisthenics a lot. Like I used to do a lot of dips, a lot of pull-ups. I wanted to be able to do one arm pull-up, be able to do planche, and be able to do handstand push-ups. I was like chasing those impressive body weight moves, I guess. Right now, yeah, I guess being able to do those moves are cool, but I think it's very likely that you are going to have to deal with some sort of injury if you want to be able to do those kinds of moves because they are too demanding for your body. Those are some moves that require a lot of force, a lot of exertion. But hopefully this video I'm going to watch that's recommended by Kat is going to be interesting or I'm going to not be happy. Because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't really want to check out this video. It doesn't really make me want to click into it. Anyways, let's start watching. Our boy looks a little feminine. What do you guys think? His hair is definitely very long and straight. So maybe that's one of the factors. But I feel like, yeah, his jaw is pretty masculine, I guess, but his eye area maybe it's a little feminine, not to be annoying. I'm not trying to be a douchebag, guys. Feel free to comment on my looks in an objective way. I'm not going to be mad at you. But I guess it's hard to define objective. I can try to be objective, but am I being objective? Anyways, why the black pill is 99% truth. So I guess black pill just means looks are so important, right? That's pretty much what black pill is about, I guess. So maybe he's going to tell people that looks really matter. I don't know. I think it's pretty indisputable. Like if you want to argue that looks don't matter, then I'm going to feel like why? What I'm trying to say is that I guess it doesn't really need to be said that looks really matter. So yeah, anyways, let's just check out what he has to say.
So here's the thing. In 99% of cases, the black pill is very accurate just because
His accent is special. I wonder where he is from.
99% of people are automatons.
What is
They're
that?
robots. They don't have one singular will that they are willing to follow in
Uh-huh.
order to fight against their circumstances and truly make a meaningful change.
No, bro, just speak English. I didn't understand what you were talking about. Am I? Is it just because my English sucks? I feel like what he was just saying was pretty undigestible for most natives. Anyways, I hope he tried to clarify his point later.
For example, that's why
Mm-hmm.
the biggest predictor of wealth is to be born in a wealthy family. Does
Okay.
it mean that it's impossible to go from rags to riches? No. It just requires an immense transformation within somebody's psyche, right?
Okay.
Most people don't have that kind of will inside of them to change. That's why when you look at statistics, when you look at studies, we're looking at a majority of people. Now, what are the majority of people? The majority of people are
Mm-hmm.
quite boring, quite uninteresting, don't really have anything special going on about them, etc.
Is that true? The majority of people. Let me think about it. I guess everyone has their own special things they have going on, but there are definitely many people that are not really able to think very clearly, I guess. They don't really think outside of the box. So, yeah, maybe to some people that's not interesting. But when it comes to the things inside of the box, I think most people they still have their own special things they have got going on, if you guys know what I mean. Like if you don't be too judgmental, you can still discover something that's relatively interesting about them. Anyways, so far I still don't really know what he's trying to tell us.
They're not that particularly good at speaking.
I just noticed his teeth. Let me try to check again. Maybe not to be rude, but because I guess most of the people that are watching, including him, are black pillars, so we are going to notice things like this, right? I guess it's a little crooked. Anyways, it's fine. I'm not trying to disrespect him. You can also say that my spine is crooked. That's just a fact.
Etc. They're not that particularly good at speaking.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing
Okay.
to the average person really, as far as the mental plane is concerned, right? So of course, if you
Are average people not that good at speaking? Yeah, I guess so, because that's not really something we emphasize in our society, at least in my country, I guess. But growing up, I think there are still some anomaly. They like to partake in some publicly speaking activities and stuff. So yeah, like I feel like some people they naturally just know more about what they want to do. Yeah, but aside from those people, if you are just like a brain fog normie, then it's not really likely that you can speak really well.
take all of the normies, all of the automatons of this earth, which is the majority,
So I guess that word means robots because that's what he said. He called most people robots. I mean, should I disagree with him? I think many people they have their own thoughts, but they are still stuck in the matrix. So yeah, if you are a more outside of the matrix person and you look at it, maybe yeah, you are going to think they're dumb, they are robots. But let me give you guys an example. Like maybe there's a very successful businesswoman. She has a successful restaurant business, but she eats a crappy diet. She doesn't really know how to become healthy. To someone like Gotis, maybe he's going to think, oh, this girl is just a dummy, an NPC. But if we look at her more rationally, I think you are going to agree that, oh, she has her own thoughts. That's how she is able to run a successful restaurant business. She's not just an NPC. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I guess it just depends on how you look at her.
and you make studies about, which ones are more attractive than others, then guess what? The only differential is going to be looks, right? Because as a woman, if you're surrounded by a bunch of cucks, a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of castrated losers
I don't like the way he talks. That's a little too vulgar.
who have been made into submissive slaves, then you might as well choose one that is good to look at, right? However, when a man like Charles Manson rolls around, guy was like 5'5" and not good looking whatsoever, also very, very bad frame as well, but the guy had insane amounts of mind control abilities. The guy had this like crazy level of belief in himself.
I don't know who is the guy he's talking about, but I guess that's like a very skilled repeller, like a very skilled pickup artist. I don't know.
And just these hypnotic abilities that allowed him to get a harem of 50 women to do whatever the hell he wanted. How do you explain that if you think that, oh, it's only just looks or whatever? Yeah, sure. If you compare simple minded automatons, then obviously the good looking one is always going to do better. But if you get those guys with insane amounts of magnetism that actually have this cult leader mentality and are able to project their ideas into people's minds, then all of a sudden, those guys, in spite of their physical attractiveness, can get laid a lot. Whereas the opposite scenario occurs where
I don't really understand. The fuck? Is he trying to say that if the girls are more intelligent, maybe you can attract them solely by your looks? I don't really want to watch again, so I'm just going to keep watching. You can correct me in the comments.
you might have a good looking guy, but there is such a thing as being so neurodivergent that you actually creep out people because your behavior is incongruent with your appearance, right? Now, there is a way to get out of that. If there's one thing you need to take away from this video
Mm-hmm.
is Project MK Ultra, okay?
What the
Now,
fuck? Why does he talk about so many advanced sounding words? Or my English just sucks. I think those words are actually really tricky.
a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
intelligently so,
Okay.
believe that personality is even harder to change than looks, right? Which honestly is true. It's very hard to rewire the subconscious mind. Some people think it's impossible to change personality, to change your outlook on the world, and
Mm-hmm.
that essentially people are stuck. It's not impossible, right?
Okay.
Because in Project MK Ultra,
Let me tell you guys what I think about this. I think if you become healthier, your personality will change. So yeah, you can change your personality. That's what I'm trying to say. Like if you become drastically healthier, I think your personality will change drastically as well. Obviously, you can also just change your personality itself without changing your healthfulness or like how healthy you are. But yeah, I guess both can change your personality. Like sometimes when you experience the same thing very, very many times, you are going to become more and more desensitized to it. So maybe in the beginning, you are really, really, really afraid to talk to girls. But for some reason, you always have an opportunity to talk with girls. Over time, I think even if you are still equally healthy as you were before, you are going to be less nervous when you talk with girls. So that's one scenario how your personality can change. Like in the past, you felt nervous talking to girls, but after talking with girls many, many times, you become less nervous in this kind of situation. And another way is just you becoming healthier. So maybe in the past, you were afraid to talk with girls and you didn't practice talking with girls. You always didn't have an opportunity to talk with girls, but you try to make yourself healthier, or for some reason you became healthier. I think you are going to become less afraid to talk with girls, even though your experiences are the same. If you guys know what I mean. So your experience and how healthy you are both can affect your personality. I think it's pretty reasonable because let's say your family is super nice to you. Obviously, you are more likely to be happier, right? Even if you just eat a bad diet. And if your family is very not nice to you, but you eat a very optimal diet, you live a very optimal lifestyle, it's likely that you still feel pretty good. I guess it depends. It depends on like how old you are. If you grow up in a very negative environment, maybe even if you are eating an optimal diet, you are still going to be affected. But anyways, I think you guys get what I'm trying to say now.
it has been proven that with the most extreme methods, you can wipe out somebody's entire memories in as little as 3 weeks
3 weeks.
and reprogram them from the ground up and
Okay.
destroy their sense of self completely,
Okay.
right? You can make a confident person completely insecure and retarded, and you can make an insecure person believe that they are a demigod and walk through life as if they are Jesus Christ. You
I am not very sure about what's the procedure he was talking about. Maybe just use a kind of device to change someone's personality.
know, if through the most extreme methods the government was able to do that in 3 weeks with people, then you, with the methods available to all of us, which pertain to rewiring your subconscious mind, should be able to change your personality, your sense of self. And it's not really changing your personality, it's more like enhancing it. It's more like
Enhance.
moving towards your higher self. Like you keep the good parts of you that you amplify and you get rid of all the garbage and you add things that are congruent with your individuality. At the end of the day, the black pill people have it right. Most people are slaves. Most people are automatons. Most people, they
I don't really like the fact that people are being very condescending. Maybe you know more than what other people know, but you are not that superior. Someone just called me. What the fuck? That's random. I'm just going to ignore the phone call. Fuck off, please. I don't have time for this, bro. I think you can still be peaceful with people despite you knowing more than they do. But I get that maybe you can feel mad knowing that people are very ignorant. I think at the same time, we still need to remind ourselves to be more civil.
their entire life results will depend on their genetics, right? Because they don't have this
What?
higher awareness and this will to become more than their genetics, to go above that. They don't have that kind of
So basically, he's saying that most people are Homo sapiens. They're not intelligent, right? Is that true?
chip on their shoulder, that kind of energy that gets a dyslexic person from becoming a master communicator. I know a lot of people like that. So yeah, ultimately, there's a lot you can rewire about the physical, even naturally speaking. I talk about it all the time, but there's even more that you can rewire in the psychological plane, right? Just remember, anything can be reprogrammed if you have the belief and the drive and the incentive to go that far.
So I guess he's saying that mindset is pretty freaking important, but most people are not able to change their mindset. If you are able to change your mindset, then looks matter less much. But because most people are not able to change their mindset, so looks matter more. So black pill is mostly correct. I guess that's what he's trying to say. I hope I didn't do a very bad job understanding his point.
So stop looking at studies about how, oh, like people like you have a 1% chance of succeeding at whatever you want to do. No, make yourself into the exception. You are literally the main character of your story. Reality only exists because of your five senses.
Five
So stop
cents.
looking at the statistics because most people are bottom feeders. And if you're still watching,
What? Okay, that's a little unexpected. Our boy is a mighty human being. Others are bottom feeders.
clearly you're not like that. If you desire something, you only have two options. You either do everything in your power to get that thing through reprogramming yourself into becoming the person who gets that thing, you do anything you can, or you get rid of the desire entirely. And for some people, that's impossible, which is why they live in this in between state, which causes them perpetual misery.
Is that very related to Blackpill? I guess that's a little off topic.
So yeah, become the exception and stop worrying about what Chad is doing or what sub fives are doing, because none of that is conducive towards becoming your higher self. Anyways, if you're still watching,
uh, in the title, he says Blackpill is 99% truth. And then he told people not to care about Blackpill. But yeah, I guess he's saying that Blackpill doesn't really matter. Although in this day and age, many people care about that because people don't think too much. I guess that's what he's trying to say. Well, I think looks are important. It's not like, oh, if people are more intelligent, if people can think more deeply, looks. Yeah, I guess in that kind of situation, looks will matter less. But looks are just always important. If people are more intelligent, then people are going to be aware of that. People are going to know that, oh, looks are important. Instead of just unconsciously being attracted to somebody because of their looks. Yeah, but either way, looks are important. That's what I think. Let's check out the comments real quick. Bro looks like a medieval knight. I probably pronounced that incorrectly. Just delude yourself. Don't be your own worst enemy. Shut your brain off and just do. You will be 1,000 times happier. Uh huh. So I guess this person is saying that you don't need to care so much about Blackpill because it's not really going to help you, I guess. Alright, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I guess I'm still a little not filled in as to what he's trying to say. Feel free to tell me your interpretation, alright? But yeah, right now I don't feel very strongly about this video right here. This guy looks tall. I wonder how long it took him to grow out his hair. I'm not really sure what kind of diet he eats, but I guess he eats a pretty ancestral healthy diet. So maybe that's going to help him with his hair growth speed, right? Wow. I wonder how long it will take me to get my hair to his length. But yeah, right now I'm going to try to just let my hair grow, make it become longer. Before I cut my long hair, I just wanted to switch things up. I didn't think too much of that, but after I got this hairstyle, many people have been telling me that I look better before. And also, I started to feel like it's actually pretty valuable, pretty precious to be able to have long hair, to be able to achieve long hair. So right now, I'm a little regretful, just a little bit. But anyways, yeah, for now, I'm going to let my hair grow. A little off topic. Hope you guys like this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try to make my points more digestible because I know maybe sometimes when I was talking, it wasn't that understandable. It's a little confusing. Bye bye.